Farm Basics is brought to you by the Liberty Link trait and Liberty herbicide from Bayer. The most reliable weed management solution, Liberty Link and Liberty herbicide are the link to efficient row crop production and sustainable weed management.
When Darren and I were growing up on the farm, our dad always used to tell us, boys, if you want to be successful on the farm, you got to try to find jobs that'll pay you $100 an hour or more and do those jobs yourself and pay somebody else to do the $5 an hour jobs. Now, whenever I tell that story, who do you think was doing Dad's $5 an hour jobs? Yeah, Darren and me. So we learned the hard way about this thing, but seriously, Dad was always going through numbers with us, and we'd talk about, well, how much does a sprayer really cost, and how much time does it take to do the spraying? Oh, that is a $100 or even a $200 an hour job. Yeah, I could do that job. There's so many things that the farmer can do to earn more money on his farm, and that's what we want to talk about today.
I had a great question come in this fall to the radio show, and the farmer said, hey, we're just small farmers. We've been having somebody else spray our crops and place our fertilizer for us, and even pull soil samples, but we hear what's going on with new precision ag technologies. Where can we start? And I thought, wow, look at all those $100 an hour jobs these guys can start doing, and think about what an impact that's going to have on their profitability. It all starts for me with good soil sampling, and there's no reason that everybody can't do their own soil sampling themselves. Whether you just have a garden or whether you have great big fields, soil sampling is easy to do. It doesn't take much time. We actually came out with an app, the Ag PhD Soil Test app, to make it even easier for you. With the app and a smartphone, you can do your own grid soil sampling, so you can manage your fields on very small levels, whether it's 1 acre grids, 2.5 acre grids, 5 acre grids, and get out there, do those tests yourself. So when you think about soil testing, you can do over 1,000 acres in a day, and most places that will do soil testing for you will charge at least $1 an acre. If they only charged $1 an acre and you could do 1,000 acres in a day, that's $1,000. If you worked an 8-hour day, that's $125 an hour. I'd say that's a pretty good way to start the $100 an hour jobs.
One of my favorite $100 an hour jobs is doing our own tiling. We've got our own tile plow, and obviously we have a tractor on the farm, so we already had the tractor. But when you look at what our costs were and what it went into having all our own equipment to do all our own tiling, by the time I figure that all out, I can save about 50 cents a foot on installation when I do it myself versus having someone else do it. And I just remember the first day I was out tiling, we'd just gotten the plow, it was the first spring, and we did 8,000 feet in an afternoon. It was myself and 2 other guys. We saved on our farm $4,000 in an afternoon, and we maybe worked 5 or 6 hours. It was no big deal. And granted, I had 2 other people out there working, but we don't have to pay them $1,000 an hour to get them to work, okay? So even paying them top dollar wages, this was still a job that on our farm is making us, and always has made us, $500 an hour doing our own tiling.
I want to get back to that sprayer that you started talking about, Brian. When you think about custom application across our country, most custom applicators charge somewhere around $5 an acre for a ground rig to drive across your field and apply product. Many of those ground rigs are doing 80 acres per hour or more. At $5 an acre times 80 acres per hour, you're paying someone $400 an hour to apply your herbicides.
Well, that's a cheap rate. I mean, really, by the time you figure in how much extra the herbicide costs and everything else, a lot of times it's closer to $8. So I look at it as more of a $640 an hour job.
Well, anyway, with the cost of a sprayer today, you can easily afford to get your own sprayer, pay yourself $100 or $200 an hour, and apply your own products on your field. It's an easy job to make $100 an hour or more.
So we can talk through all these different jobs on the farm that the farmer can do and make $100 an hour or more. But I just want you to think, whether you're a farmer or any job that you've got, there are always $100 an hour jobs that are there. Think about if you're a salesperson, for example. I mean, if you're out there making sales and you have contact with customers, that's the $100 an hour job. Doing the paperwork in the office, is that actually making you any money? Probably not. So it's all about time management. You've got to take your time and invest it in things that are going to make more profit for you or your company, your farm, whatever it is.
Well, it sounds crazy to think there are $100 an hour jobs on the farm or anywhere that you happen to work, but there really are if you look at those jobs, how much they can make you if you just do them yourself. And many of the jobs are simple enough that anybody can do them.
A few years ago, I wrote a book called $100 an Hour Jobs, Lessons from Dad. If you're interested in that, you can check out the Ag PhD website. Another thing you'll find on the Ag PhD website is information about how to control our weed of the week. Can you identify this week's weed?